Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about melasma and hyperpigmentation in the skin. I would say that melasma and hyperpigmentation are probably my biggest skin concerns for myself personally. As you can see, I'll try to get close so you can really see my bare face. I have these patches of melasma above both my eyebrows right here that really bug me. And I've even been noticing more in recent months, just like on my cheekbones, by my eyebrows, the mustache area, that kind of thing. I have a patch right here. It's probably one of the things about my skin that bothers me the most. I've always had trouble covering it with makeup because even when I apply foundation, you can still see like a shadow of the hyperpigmentation through the makeup. So I end up putting more makeup on, and as you add more makeup, just the more makeup texture you're getting, the more slippage you can get from all that product. Like, it's just kind of always been something I've struggled with. But discovering Demi Colour was the best thing for covering up my melasma, because instead of just covering it with thick makeup, I'm actually using targeted colors to minimize the excess color in those specific areas of my skin so that I can basically effectively make them disappear with a lot less product. And it's just been so life-changing for me. I've always had spots on my face. I first started noticing these spots on my forehead in about my mid-20s. That started, I think. And as I've gotten older, it's gotten darker, especially after I had my two babies. I noticed that the hormones from pregnancy and just pregnancy itself really made them a lot darker. And I started noticing all the spots on my cheeks and like on my upper lip area, and sun exposure has made it a lot worse as well. So I always try to hide from the sun. I wear SPF daily, I wear hats, all that. But I've been noticing ever since I moved to Florida that the sun exposure that I've been getting is just making them darker. It's really hard for me to accept. I really want to deal with that with better targeted skincare, possibly a dermatologist visit, but until I can manage that, especially in these summer months, I just use my Demi Colour to hide my melasma, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay, so if you're new to Demi Colour, I have a couple other videos that really explain it a lot better, but basically, this is what Demi Colour looks like. It's a lot of bright colors, as you can see, and the idea is that it's color correcting, that you've probably heard of, but you're using complementary colors from the color wheel to minimize the excess color in the skin, to help filter away distractions and imperfections in the complexion. So when we're talking about melasma, hyperpigmentation, sunspots, age spots, any of that kind of thing, whenever there's excess pigment in the skin, that's usually excess green. Most people look at it and think it's brown or orangey or something like that. But actually, if you really get to know what colors look like in the skin, you'll see that that brown is really an earthy, muddy tone, and that means it's a green brown, if that makes sense. So it's usually excess green. If you have spots that are very dark, that means that they probably are more of a blue-green, so they have blue creating more of a shadow. Some of my spots, like these right here, for a long time, I thought they were orange because that's what my eye would see, but really what that is, it's a yellow green. So I like to use a violet pink to filter that out. I'll get to that in a minute, but basically it's just helpful to know if you're trying to figure out which Demi Colour shades to use, that it's usually helpful to start in the ranges of pinks and oranges to address the blues and greens. That's usually a really safe place to start. And it might take a little trial and error, especially while you're learning how to spot colors, but you'll typically need to use a lot of pinks and oranges and pinky oranges to filter away those spots. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the rest of my Demi Colour face first, because I like to do my toning and adding of color and then filtering away the distractions at the end. So I'm going to do my whole face, and I'm not going to address any of my melasma or sunspots, and then we'll get to those at the end. See you right back here. Okay, so I've done the rest of my Demi Colour on my face, and as you can see, my melasma is already a lot less noticeable because I've balanced out a lot of areas and drawn the focus to the things that I want. Adding a little bit of sculpt and some blush really toned down some of the dark spots on my cheeks. So this is why I like doing this last, because now I can really see which spots are actually distracting and which of them have already faded away from my eyesight. So the areas that always pop out to me are still right there, but I do see a couple like spots right here, you know, this one right there that I'll probably address. So let's get started. Like I said before, a lot of hyperpigmentation is usually excess green. So I'm going to want to use the opposite color of that, which would be red on the color wheel. Basically, I'm going to be using pink. So I'm going to start with this one right here. This is R1. So this is level 1 of pink. And I'm going to start with that. If you apply pink and you realize that there's still a shadow, that an area still looks dark, then you'll want to use something with a little bit more orange in it to address that excess blue. Most of my melasma is pure excess green, so I use pink for almost all of it. So that's what I'm going to do. I have my spot brush and a teeny tiny bit of my R1 pink color. And I'm just going to start with the darkest. I'm gonna sit closer so you can see. I'm gonna start with the darkest areas on my forehead that I see right away. So for me, that's gonna be right here. And now I'm applying feather light pressure to my skin. I'm barely touching my skin. You really have to focus on not trying to apply makeup so much as it's almost like you're just wiping away what you're trying to cover. We're not trying to cover anything. We're just trying to filter away that excess color in the skin. So by using pink, it tones down the green that's in these spots, and I'm being very thoughtful and applying it just only where I need it. So already it looks so much better, right? Like I just got rid of the darkest spots. I have a few more that I'm gonna grab, I think, over towards my hairline here. Oop. See, and I had too much product on my brush, so I'm gonna wipe off a little bit. Okay, there we go. I'm just sort of wiping away my melasma. And the cool thing about this is that I'm using such a small amount of product. It doesn't need to be set. It doesn't need to be set with powder. This will last all day. And it just really minimizes the appearance of my melasma. So now for some of these spots, like right here, they look more like a yellow-green to me because they almost look orange. So I'm actually going to switch colors and I'm going to use this one right here. This is VR1, so it's a violet red. So it has a little bit of that violet to address the excess yellow that I'm seeing in that green. Whenever I'm doing my demi, I'm always like turning so I can really see it in the light, because sometimes the light bounces off my skin and it's hard to see it. So I have to find a good angle so I can really see what I'm doing. Just using some of that violet pink to erase all this excess yellow-green in my skin. If you have darker skin, you most likely have more pigment in these spots. So you'll probably need to use more orangey shades. If you're fair to medium like me, you'll probably use more pink. So it really just depends on the person, and it really takes a lot of practice to learn how to see color. But once you do, it's like second nature. Like when I'm doing this, when I'm doing my own makeup and I'm not talking through it, I can just instinctually dot around my face with the colors that I need, and I can go really fast. So I know this seems overwhelming at first, but once it becomes more second nature, it's really easy. All right, well, I'm actually pretty happy with that, with this side. It looks pretty good to me. I don't necessarily want to make my skin look colorless. You know, I like the dimension and I don't want to apply too much product. I just want it to be less distracting so that when I look at my face, my eye doesn't immediately go to these dark spots that I hate looking at. It just tones it down and makes it disappear just a little bit. Now on this side, these are a lot lighter. I don't know why, but they're definitely a yellow-green because they look very orangey. So I'm gonna use that VR1 shade again, the violet shade. It's hard to do this and film it at the same time. Okay, there we go. And I'm just getting the dark spots, being very careful with where I apply the color. toning down these dark yellow-green splotches. You see how I have all these in a line? I have a fine line, a wrinkle right here that has hyperpigmentation inside it and makes it look deeper. So by getting rid of the hyperpigmentation, it makes my wrinkles appear less deep. Hi, did you wake up from your nap? This is Odette, this is my daughter. She just woke up from her nap and I'm almost done. I'm almost done filming, baby. Okay, just one second. Okay, I'm just filming a video. Do you think you can go watch TV and I'll be out in just a minute? You want to stay here while I finish? Can you shut the door for me then? You shut it? It's too noisy. Hudson's video is ruining mine. I can't reach it. I can't reach it. I can't reach it. Oh no. Watch this. Look at that. Okay, do you want to just wait a few minutes and I'll be done? Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna finish up my makeup real quick and then we'll talk. Okay, that's it. I'm done with my makeup. And I love how I don't notice those spots anymore. Don't notice them. And this will stay put all day long. I don't have to set it. I don't have to do anything. It will stay like this the rest of the day. And what I'm left with is, it looks like my skin. It doesn't look like makeup. This makeup is invisible. You can't, it's completely undetectable. Put my face really close to the camera for you. I mean, this just looks like my skin. I can't see any makeup whatsoever. And it's done a lot for my self-esteem because it really makes me feel like I'm not hiding behind anything. I'm not covering my skin with makeup and trying to hide the things I don't like. I'm erasing the things that I don't like about my skin so I can really see myself, if that makes sense. So this has been just huge for me in my life. I love Demi Colour so much. If you want to give this a try and you want to pick out a few colors of Demi Colour that will help you address your specific skin concerns or your specific hyperpigmentation, you can fill out my Demi Colour match form and I will send you a complimentary consult with some recommendations for some colors that I think would help you. Seint also makes it pretty easy. They have some bundled colors that are most typically used by most people in different fair, medium, dark skin ranges. So there's the mini filter edits and then the filter edits. Those colors are common for hyperpigmentation and under eye areas. So you could get one of those bundles as well, and that makes things easier too. And you'll need a teeny tiny brush. This is the spot brush. This is what I use for everything. So that's a Demi Colour brush, but any small makeup brush will work. It just needs to be tiny because you really need to be precise with how you're placing your colors. All right, that's it. I'm beautiful for the day and set and ready to go. If you have any questions, let me know. Remember to wear your sunscreen, everyone. That is the moral of the story for today from the queen of splotchy hyperpigmentation. Wear your sunscreen and a hat, and I will continue doing the same. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.